You can't get perfectionistic with things that evolve because it's inevitable that it's just going to keep on growing. To think, oh, it's going to be this perfect thing is to cap yourself on an experience that's much greater than you can even possibly comprehend.
This is the real-time diaries of Amber Skates.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the real-time diaries of Amber Skates, where I read my diary to you guys as it is happening. It is the ever-evolving podcast and YouTube series that keeps growing as I keep on growing. How insane is that? Which really brings me to today's, I think, main overarching topic is that when you can line up your creativity, your artistry with your own self-growth, you start to see that there's a bigger picture going on, right? This is what I believe. There is a bigger picture going on, which is that your life is the art, which really is the whole premise of what this series really is all about and why I've started it in the first place. Because I've been very aware for a long time that I feel there are beautiful stories going on in my life that I couldn't even possibly create if I wanted to. Like, life has such a bigger story that's just right in front of all of us all the time. And I think that's a very magical thing. And so I'm having a lot of fun writing it down, capturing it for you guys, and being able to turn that into a piece of art that keeps on growing as we go. So before we jump in, of course, for those of you listening to the podcast, where am I today? Well, I'm sitting in a very special place, as you guys can see on the video. It is my mom's craft room. How gorgeous is this, guys? This is ridiculous. It is a little bit ridiculous. It is covered in fairy lights and all of the beautiful knickknacks and pottery pieces that my mum makes and just craft beautiful everything. We've got stamps, we've got beautiful tapes, we've got ribbons and bows and pottery and everything that you could possibly imagine would be in a fairy oasis. Oh my God. Which brings me to the look I've pulled today, obviously inspired by said fairy oasis. I am wearing a gorgeous, super obnoxious pearl necklace because I have to do it. If I'm going to be a fairy queen, come on, I'm going to wear a realistic pearl necklace. What even is realistic? False. Anyway, I'm also wearing gorgeous earrings, which I'm going to take out because I'm just so aware now they're going to be dingle dangling the whole time. But I hope you enjoyed that. For the first half of the look. I'm also wearing, I've got my beautiful long hair in today. For those of you who don't know, usually I have pretty short hair, I love, but I've started playing with extensions recently and that is really fun because I get to be even more fairy princess. And I'm wearing a gorgeous, beautiful tulle skirt, which was my grandmother's, which is beautiful, and a lovely sweet little lacy white bra. So we're feeling fabulous is the answer. All right. I think it's time we just jump in, don't you? Yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll read it. I wasn't going to read it today, but because you asked so kindly, I'll do it. All right. So where we left off last week was I had the crazy night at the jelly wrestling, which was a bit insane. Now, I'll finish reading what Amber was writing that morning on I think it was the 5th of what month are we in? February. And now I am here in my car. I had to keep waking up abruptly to get parking tickets for my car. Oh my gosh. So context is I was staying at my friend who's in the show I'm currently in, Chris's place for the night because my family lives half an hour away from where we do our shows. So I had to travel, so I decided to park my car, but I had to keep getting up in the morning and freaking getting tickets for it, which is just so funny and just not it for a sleepover. But anyway, it was great. And then we went out for breakfast, which was really sweet. And I got a gorgeous little vegan meal and my matcha. I'm obsessed with matchas at the moment, guys. Before I went to travel home. I'm a happy girl. All right. The next one on the 5th of February at 10:45 p.m. We've got a voice memo from past Amber. So Let's just see what she's got to say. All right, let's have a little listen.
I was just lying on the grass before and I was just like, what do you mean? Like, are you actually kidding me? We're like this futuristic space civilization that just like is, oh my God. There's just so many humans on this planet who are so asleep to the universe. Like, they're so asleep to the insanity that is this existence. It's beautiful. Like, it's ridiculously beautiful and emotional, and to be emotional is such a magnificent experience. It's so important, you know, like lying out on the grass like this, like just looking at the stars is so important. Like, I just feel like it's such a fundamental thing to do as a human, like to really allow yourself to lay back and really see it. So, shooting star. But to just see it, because that's when you see magic. How can you not open your mind just a little bit when you see the stars? Like, seeing the stars is being awake. Like, remembering that there's just this open space right above us all, and all the problems, all the issues, all the things that we get caught up in is just us catching ourselves up in ourselves. This is huge. So much huger than all of us can understand, and we're all playing a tiny piece in this existence that is to be human. And like, what does it matter? In the scheme of things, who knows? What could it matter? I mean, you know, to the universe. We're just this tiny thing inside of it, but also I think we're a huge part of it.
I'll leave it there. Well, she said it. That was it. She said it. All right, 6th of Feb, 3:24 a.m. Editing the podcast tonight, and I'm having some big time revelations for what this could become. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing way more documenting of my life, filming life in artistic ways, just to sit on top of the audio, almost like a documentary, popping in more voice memos just like we did, and also adding in songs and things, which is what I did in episode 4. It's almost like when you just commit to something, all the pieces start to fall into place. You just need to start. So we are going to let this diary breathe. I do want to note here that there is never a pressure for you to have to do this. If you don't have the time, this is always the baseline. But if you can do it in a way that works for you, then let's fucking do it and play. Honestly, I was just thinking, I reckon I am actually getting the closest I've ever been to eliminating my resistance. Gosh, this is really great. It's pretty amazing when you show yourself you can change. I'm proud of you, Amber. Bless. Yeah, it's a funny journey. You know, it's so funny how I think just like stepping up and really doing the research to figure out what it is that is going to help me with my difficulties, with my challenges, is what's made all the difference. You know, it's being aware that there are challenges there that I'm dealing with, and that's like so okay. That's just part of the human experience that, you know, I, Amber, have. But when you start to see that there's like ways you can work around that, just little bit by little bit, it makes all the difference. And like slowly but surely you start to feel the difference and show yourself that you can change. I think that's really cool. Wednesday the 7th of Feb, 12:54. I just had a bath. The body is sore, I tell you that much. I put my headphones on and really listened to music. I'm really vibing. There's this song called I'm Not the Sun, which I'm listening to right now. Speaking of, Kyle just sent me the most heavenly song today. It goes for about a minute, and oh my God, is that boy a muse? He's figured it out. Gosh, I just feel so lucky to have him in my life. Speaking of music, I had such a good flow today. I made this really cool track. It doesn't have any vocals yet, but I honestly just really enjoyed building the vibe of it. I made some adjustments to my schedule so I would always be able to make the time for music, and I'm so glad I did. This process was actually really pivotal. I was driving to the show the other day and just really asked myself, what worked and what didn't work about the past month and my routine and how I can better support myself. It was really nice getting rid of the shame and the guilt from the equation, reminding myself if something doesn't work, then you don't need to blame yourself. You just haven't quite found the way yet. Assess and try again and make a change. And look, it worked. Thursday the 8th, 3:01 a.m. Gosh, you really can be so many things in a day. A drag in bed, a video editor, a puppy lover, a makeup artist, an audiobook listener, a performing artist in front of hundreds of people, and one hell of a night owl. There's no point in getting yourself stuck in any of it because before you know it, the next thing will roll on in. Just experience it for what it is and most definitely notice the in-between. Some of my favorite little moments from today included Mum joining as I unboxed my new camera lens and letting me film her and the puppies. Dad popping his head into my room when I blasted some of his favorite music. What I loved about that moment is that I knew he would. I did. Like, my dad is such a big reason for my love of music. As I grew up, he always used to blast music whenever he was in a really good mood. Like, he'd put it on the whole entire sound system, which he'd like installed into the house. And so you just like knew that music meant having a good time. And I think that just so deeply ingrained in who I am. And my brother and I talk about it a lot, how pivotal that time, like that association was in who we are today, because both of us, like, our lives are revolved around music, which is really cool. The man at the traffic lights letting me through at 8:03, even though the freeway ramp had technically just closed, he snuck me through with such gusto. That was such a sweet moment. That's what I mean by the little moments in life. Like, there are all these in-between moments, yet I think it's those in-between moments that show the beingness of being a human being. Nat, Matt, and Alfie dancing backstage before we start the show as the Club de Bourne neon flashes on and off. Yeah, every night, whenever we're backstage just before we begin, we're all there together. And obviously it's like the same show every night, so the music happens in the same way. And we always just like have our own little dances and little things we do, which I really love. The instant peace I felt playing the Eckhart Tolle book. Oh my gosh, I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle at the moment, and that is shaping this whole experience whilst I've been here. I'm onto his second book now, A New World, I think it's called, but both of those books have just been so fantastic to come back to every day. You know, to recenter myself and reground and become present and I guess just step back from life for a second. I think that's really important. I think having a way to do that for yourself every day is huge. And that's why I'm so grateful for being able to drive here in Perth, because driving time has become that. Gliding down the Mitchell Freeway as I practice being present in the now. Exactly what I was talking about. And then the little Suki puppy, Choco, coming out to say hi and dancing with me at night. And that is just the little things. I am grateful. Friday the 8th at 3:15 a.m. Wow, I just had my first ever shower with headphones on. Oh my, that was ethereal. I had a moment of clocking my ego tonight. I was a little off kilter and I couldn't quite release some of the tension I was feeling. I made a joke to myself out loud that had a bit of negative energy in it, and suddenly, boom. I realized that was the pain body talking, which is really all that Eckhart Tolle talks about. He talks about this idea pretty much that all of your negative thoughts, all of those thoughts that you know, I can't do this, or really any thoughts that aren't you being present in the now is your ego talking. Which is so interesting. And like this whole idea of the ego, I think reading about it, I've always kind of been like, yeah, but we all have egos and like, I don't know, whatever. Like, I haven't quite understood the idea of what the ego actually is. But spending the time to really break that down gives you such perspective in realizing that who you really are is way behind there. Like it sits back and it's present and it's always there. Like you are always there witnessing everything. But often we convince ourselves that we are this voice in our heads and we think that is who we are. Yet it's being able to differentiate that allows you to not get caught in it. Anyway, I think it's really interesting. But this was a great moment where I think I really clocked it when I needed it. Whoosh. I suddenly felt this instant release. Shit, I'm doing it. It was this peace that I just couldn't help but giggle. I went then to film the next episode in the cellar, and I took some cute photos on the new camera. It was just so fun having all these new ways of playing even deeper than before. Not to miss, this morning, Mum and Dad and I went and floated at the Mullaloo Beach, one of the best beaches in the world. Truly a heavenly moment, floating and laughing in the turquoise water with them both. We even played a game of crabs, and Dad got out his claws. It was really, really cute. Love Ambi. Oh my gosh, how sweet is that? Isn't that lovely? Yeah, it's been really nice that week. Mum took off from work just so that, she could have her own little holiday whilst I was free. And I think that was a really special moment for us to just play and have fun together, Now, I have to tell you about Saturday because I didn't write about it, but I gave myself some little notes. So we went to Freo with Mum, which is a beautiful place here in Perth. I actually went to school there and we ended up going to my school, like my high school, which is so crazy because I haven't been there in years and years and years. And we just went in there. It was a Saturday, and because it's a performing arts high school, they're always open on the weekends. Like I used to just every weekend go in and rehearse shows and things. And so that was really special, just going there with Mum, and weirdly enough, it feeling so normal, yet being oh, this is not my normal anymore. I was a different person back then. That's the coolest thing about traveling to places you once were. You really do notice the difference. Oh, then I had this gig at this EDM festival, which was so random, and I dressed up in this full jester outfit, which was hilarious. It was just the silliest experience. And I was, with a bunch of the cast from the show, and Chris and I were just riding on these bikes. We were handing out Zupa Dupas, riding on bikes. And I've got to be fair, my face was serving, it was a look, but we were riding on bikes. And I think often as a performer, I really like to go for the ham, the cheese, the big smile kind of vibe. But for this, because the audience was so straight, I really enjoyed sitting into another space and just really not giving anything. And that was almost the giving. And I thought that was really cool because I feel I just opened up a different part of myself as a performer that was super engaging for that audience. And they were loving it. They were eating it up. It was the silliest thing. And especially being at a festival when you yourself are not on and everyone else is the funniest thing. And I just loved every minute of it. And then Chris and I drove Chris to the show, which we had that night. And it was beautiful. The sun was setting and we were just in our element. The weather was gorgeous. And we ended up having a little chat, and we'll obviously see what happens. But we kind of suggested maybe we go travel Europe together after the show in Edinburgh, which will be happening later this year. So that was a really cool moment. I've been a little bit unsure about what I'm going to do, knowing I will travel. And yeah, it was really special when he said that, because I feel that's a bit of a piece that was waiting to reveal itself, which I think was really cool. And then I had some late night chats with Mum, because Mum's been coming in and waking up ridiculously late. She just kind of comes and joins in and asks me how the show's going. So that was really sweet. And then let's talk about the Sunday. So this was at 1:43 a.m. I had a gorgeous day today. I saw Nan and Grandpa, and there truly is nothing like family. Gosh, What a family summer it has been. Even Alfie and Chris made a joke about it today. Where are all these family coming from? It was by the water in a beer garden, and there was a singer playing Fleetwood Mac and Blondie, and Dad and I were singing away as we do. We had Nang and Grandpa giggling away. Then I went and sat on the ledge with Nang and spoke about life. Spoke about what are some of the nice things about getting older. And we spoke about how it's so nice getting to witness what everyone ends up doing with their lives, which I think is pretty cool. That's the thing. I've only had a peep at life. I've only had 24 years of peeping. And who knows what I'll see in that time? Who knows what any of us will see in that time? But it was special to see them both. Then Dad drove us home and blasted Fleetwood the whole way. We made it home and Demi called and we caught up. I faded and had a nap and I woke up. Then I went outside to Mum and Dad having a drink as the puppies ran around. Dad all sprawled out on the couch and then both living their best lives. Then I had a call with Kyle, who just gives me so much life. God, I adore that boy and the life he's building himself. I got ready on the phone to him and Mum was an angel and cooked me dumplings. Gosh, I'm gonna miss the special Perth treatment. We then went to see a drag show. I got to Extra Light with Chris and I did a show. Then I went to the after party and ate mee goreng and at the party. And then I got in the car and let's listen to the voice memo here. This was recorded as I was listening to two of my friends called Kyle, their music. Kyle's got a lot of features in this past week. And I think it's, I think it's really sweet because I think that friendship is such family to me now. Like he's like a brother to me, truly. And it's one of those friendships that is so the epitome of just like really being there for each other in so many ways. Like being there for each other emotionally, but also being there for each other as creatives and artists. And I think that combination, if you can find it within friendships, is such a fulfilling one because not only does it encourage like, you know, that reflection, that support, that love, that care, but it also reflects like that growth, like that growth that you can bring out in each other, which I just think is so cool. Anyway, let's hear what she has to say.
Excuse me, guys. Oh my goodness. I am shook. Okay, I need a bit of context. You need a bit of context. I just listened to two of my fucking darling friends' music, and I'm like, I'm dead. Okay, because this music that I just listened to was out of this world. It's just like nothing I've ever heard. One of my bestest friends in the whole entire world, universe, Kyle Charles Hall, you don't even know. Guys, you don't even know what is coming. I'm listening to his music 2024, early 2024, and you don't even know. You're not even ready for this, guys. You're not even ready. Go check him out right now because we're all gonna watch him blow up, and I cannot wait. I'm here for it every minute. And then I just listened to my friend Kyle Colburn's music, which I have only really heard in person, and I saw it at a gig once, and just listening to it has hit a spot in my core that I didn't even realize was there, and it just opened up. So pretty much there's some kind of witch magic going on here, but we all knew that. I knew that, but they've figured it out, and all I've got to say is those songs better come out because the world needs to hear. Is all I've got to say. Thank you for listening. I love music and I love my friends making it because it's...
That's it. You can shut up. God, that's it. Well, what a lovely way to end this week's episode with all of the love in the world. It's a special experience getting to go on this journey of reflecting, of creating, of just learning about life. And I think this is the coolest thing. What I love about looking back on all of this is that I see where those revelations kicked into place what would then become my next week, which I'm in, right? And I suggest everyone does this. I suggest everyone gets themselves a way of reflecting like this. Start journaling, start creating something that goes on, that exists bigger than just one moment. I highly recommend it, because it's that creative process that's able to evolve, that you're able to keep coming back to. And remember that it's not a perfectionistic thing, right? Like, you can't get perfectionistic with things that evolve, because they're evolving. Like, it's inevitable that it's just going to keep on growing, you know, and to stunt it, or to think, oh, it's got to be this perfect thing, is to cap yourself on an experience that's much greater than you can even possibly comprehend. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I really enjoyed reflecting on all of that, and I can't wait to share with you guys next week, because next week is this week for me and it's certainly all very beautiful. I hope that your next week is filled with stories and goodness and lessons and all of the above. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like, or give it a 5-star rating. And of course, most importantly, if you can share it around with your friends, that all really helps in building this. Let me know if you have any feedback or any ideas for how I can make this even better. Don't you worry, I'm working on it. But yeah, have a beautiful week, everyone, and bye-bye. Mwah! Ciao.